Muschietti's horror duology has come to a close. But there are only so many questions from a 1,000+ page novel that can be answered on screen. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 unanswered It Chapter 2 questions.
No one who dies here ever really dies.
For this list, we're looking at all the plot elements from Muschetti's adaptation that still have us guessing. These aren't plot holes per se, and some even have answers within the book or the greater Stephen King canon, but a spoiler alert is now in effect.
We need to finish it. For good.
Number 10. Why did it help Henry Bowers? Sure, birds of a feather flock together and it and Henry Bowers are both murderous psychos, but It Chapter 2 doesn't really explain why it helps Bowers escape the mental asylum. Was it just to create more chaos? To stop the Losers Club?
Lead the way, Henry. Lead the way.
In the book and the 1990 miniseries, this makes a bit more sense. In the source material, a younger Henry was framed for all the murders in Derry, not just his dad's. Blaming the losers, he's hungry for revenge, making him the perfect tool for it to use against them. But in the films, it isn't clear what Pennywise's big scheme is here.
None of this makes any sense.
Number 9. The Eater of Worlds. It is many things. A killer clown, a cosmic shapeshifter, the Deadlights. But an Eater of Worlds?
I am eternal, child. I am the eater of worlds.
This could just be an idle boast, the histrionics of a creature that lives to terrorize small children. But could it also be taken more literally? All that we know about its origins is that it came to Earth from the Macroverse, a void surrounding the multiverse. Given the scale of things, it's possible that before crash landing on Earth, this eternal, if not entirely immortal being did devour entire worlds in one form or another. For now, we simply don't know. Number 8. Did Eddie have feelings for Richie? Richie Tosher is the smart aleck of the group, always ready with a joke or hammy remark.
Okay, well, I'm starting to get itchy now, and I'm pretty sure this is not
Do you
good
use
for
the
my-
same bathroom as your mother?
Sometimes, yeah.
Then you probably have crabs.
He likes to poke fun at his friends, but especially hypochondriac Eddie Kasprak. This teasing takes on more significance with one of the biggest reveals of It Chapter 2, that Richie is actually gay and has had feelings for Eddie since they were kids. Since he doesn't tell Eddie how he really feels before Eddie meets his gruesome fate, we never find out if those feelings were reciprocated. Eddie was the most repressed of the crew in many ways, so it could be that Eddie did feel the same about Richie, but never got to explore that side of himself.
Okay, I can smell that from here. It's probably just your breath wafting back into your face.
Number 7. When did it first arrive on Earth? As we mentioned earlier, it came to Earth from the Macroverse long ago. In the movie, Mike and Bill have a vision of it crashing to Earth like a meteor and attacking Native Americans. But it isn't clear when this happens or if time passed between its crash landing and the arrival of humans. We learn a little more in the book when Mike and Richie have a similar vision, which they place, quote, 1,000,000 years back maybe, or 10 million or 80 million. That's still a pretty big range of time. When exactly did it arrive? Was it around during the time of the dinosaurs? Does it only terrorize humans? Because Jurassic Pennywise sounds like a nightmare too. Number 6. Why a clown? Despite the fact that it can take on any form, this shapeshifter's preferred look is that of a circus clown. It's easy to speculate that it settled on the form when it discovered it was a useful lure for children, or that the inhabitants of Derry didn't seem to raise questions about a wandering performer. But what was the original inspiration? Did it take on the look of a real-life person?
This isn't real enough for you, Billy. I'm not real enough for you.
This seems to be hinted at in It Chapter 2, when we glimpse an old photograph of Mrs. Kirsch as a little girl with a man who looks a lot like Pennywise, presumably her father. But we can only guess at the connection.
I was always Daddy's little girl. What about you?
Number 5. How did Stan remember? At the beginning of Chapter 2, the adult losers return to Derry even though they don't really know what's going on. Reunited back in town, they tell Mike Hanlon that they don't remember what happened in the past. Stan, however, seems to remember everything, or at least enough that he, quote, took himself off the board so they'd have a better chance against Pennywise. His tragic suicide in the book and 1990 miniseries came about because he was so scared, even if he didn't know exactly of what, that he couldn't take it. But in 2019, he makes a calculated choice. How does he remember when all the others who left Derry forgot? Number 4. How is the Ritual of Chüd supposed to work? The Ritual of Chüd is very different in the novel and the film. and neither is easy to wrap your head around.
Okay, whatever happens, hang on. It's not as strong as I thought it was, or it could have killed us just then.
In the book, it's a psychic battle of wills waged in the Macroverse, wherein Bill, and later Bill and Richie, have to bite its tongue, then pit their optimism and imagination against its fear and negativity. In the film, however, the ritual involves them burning tokens special to them and chanting "Turn light into dark." The goal is to contain it inside a special container. As it turns out, however, the ritual has never worked before and goes awry for the losers too. So how is it supposed to work? Does it work at all? Number 3, is Pennywise gone for good? After the ritual of Chüd fails, the losers are left scrambling. But they finally manage to shrink it and rip out its heart. But is it over? In the films, it seems that way, but it seemed that way when they were children too.
If it isn't dead, if it ever comes back, we'll come back too.
In other Stephen King novels, there are hints that it survived. In The Tommyknockers, a character thinks he sees a clown in the Derry sewers. And in Dreamcatcher, a memorial plaque in Derry has been spray painted with the words "Pennywise lives." Worse, in the book and miniseries, it is pregnant, which means there could be a male of the species and/or hatchlings that survived the loser's attack. Number 2, where does it come from? While we know a little bit about how it arrived on Earth, its origins remain shrouded in mystery. In the film, as far as human understanding goes, it crash-landed on Earth a long time ago, making it essentially an alien from outer space. In the novel, it's clarified that it actually came from a place beyond our universe, the Macroverse. But the nature of this void realm, which is also home to the turtle Maturin, remains enigmatic, and we're left guessing at how and why it escaped or was cast out of its original home. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, what are the Deadlights? Depicted as orbs of eldritch light, the Deadlights are something of a mystery. They're thought to be its true form, and Mike speculates that the losers must trap and/or destroy them to free Derry. But other than that, the Deadlights and their power to hypnotize, kill, or induce insanity are left up to interpretation. Within the Stephen King universe, the Deadlights are not just potentially sentient rays of energy, but also a tool to be harnessed, just as they are in Insomnia by the big bad of the multiverse himself, the Crimson King. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.